हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, कलये सुन्दराकारं सदैकप्रियदर्शनम् अज्ञाननाशकं देवं सद्गुरुं मुरलीधरम्, मुरलीमण्डितकरकमलं मुनिजनमोहनं व्यत्यस्तपादं वनमालाधारिणं प्रेमभक्तमण्डलनित्यकीर्तितं श्रीप्रेमिकवरदम् आश्रयेऽहम्। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः, तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो अमृषा, धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नामसङ्कीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपापप्रणाशनं प्रणामो दुःखशमनः तं नमामि हरिं परम्। श्रीहरये नमः, श्रीहरये नमः, श्रीहरये नमः। गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्दा गोविन्द, सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। By the benign grace of Lord Sri Hari, our very beloved Sri Madhuri Sakhi Sameta Premika Varada Thakurji, and by the immense kripa of our Sadguru Maharaj, His Holiness Maharanyam Shri Shri Muralidhara Swamiji, we have been seeing Bhagavata Mahatmyam for the past few sessions, and in the last session, if we all remember, we discussed the charitra or the story of this most pious soul called Atmadeva. And this story was from Padma Purana, where we find this Bhagavata Mahatmya. And we saw how Atmadeva, who was very pious, who was a very dharmic person, he spent his entire life in performing only dharmic activities, and he was very wealthy, he was very well read, etc. etc. And in spite of that, he was very sad because he did not have a child, and having spent half his wealth in doing charity with the hope that the merit accrued, you get punya if you do charity. So he thought, with all that punya, maybe I will get to have a child. But that did not happen for a long time. So we saw how he went to a forest and he was very depressed. He met a great Mahatma. The Mahatma gave him a very sound advice. He said, don't run behind this desire of wanting to have a child. Re muncha, this kutumbasha. Give up all this desire and sannyase sarvatha sukham. He said, take up sannyasa like me, become my disciple, follow me and everything will be fine. But Atmadeva was in no mood for that. So he begged the sadhu blessed him with the fruit. He gave the fruit to his wife Dunduli. Dunduli did not want to have anything to do with the child. So she borrowed the child of her sister and she projected as if that was her own child. That child was called Dundukari. She threw away this fruit that the Mahatma gave to the cows, and one of the cow that ate it, that cow gave birth to a beautiful child called Gokarna. And we saw how Dundukari was extremely vile while Gokarna was extremely pious. And this Dundukari tortured Atmadeva so much that Atmadeva felt very bad, and finally Gokarna gave him the Upadesha. Great Mahatma that Gokarna was, he gave a Upadesha where he said, give up everything and go to the forest and hold on to only Srimad Bhagavatam, and even in Srimad Bhagavatam just hold on to Dashamaskanda, which is called Ashrayam, and just keep reading this Dashamaskanda, and that is enough. The 10th canto describes Krishna Leela in 90 chapters. Right from the birth of Bhagavan, it covers entire Gokula Leela. It contains all the Vrindavan Leela, and it contains Mathura Leela, it contains Dwaraka Leela, it contains everything. So he said, just keep reading this, do Parayana of this, that is enough. And Atmadeva also obeyed, he agreed, he left his house, he left everything behind, and he did Parayana of only Dashamaskanda of Srimad Bhagavatam. And what happened? He actually attained Bhagavan by merely reading 10th canto, because 10th canto is full of Krishna Leela. When we keep reading the 10th canto alone, we are so immersed in Krishna himself that we become one with him. So that's what happened to Atmadeva, and that is where we stopped in the last class, right, the last session. So continuing from where we left, when Atmadeva left his house like this, Dundukari became all the more wild. He became all the more, angry with his mother. Now, because his father was not there, and he was looking for money, because he wanted to spend in all gambling and drinking, and think of all the vile acts that you can. Think of things that are extremely harmful, right? Dundukari was very interested in doing all of them. See, that is the contrast that we see between Gokarna and Dundukari. Like we discussed in the last session itself, if you can recollect, Atmadeva represents a very common man. He is a very normal person who is not very vile. He is not like too great a Mahatma. He was a normal person who followed, the word of scriptures. He just did his dharma. He had very simple expectations that one householder would have, a grihastha would have. He earned the money to sustain his family. He had a loving family. He wanted to extend that family. Right? Very simple desires. And he would go, he was ready to do any charity to lead that simple life. And then something happens in his life, where the thing that he desired for most, a child, that itself became a big bane for him. Rather, it looks like a bane, but it was actually a boon. Because even if you have a very smart and a very loving child, we will never get vairagya. We will never want to get out of this world, and we will not think of Bhagavan. See, even in our life, sometimes only when we don't get what we want, do we remember Bhagavan? Is it not? You have to give an assignment, you don't feel you have done it well, and then you give the assignment, then you hope and pray that the teacher overlooks the flaws and gives you good grades. Is it not? So only, at our level. So each of them, each of us need a different kind of jolt to remember Bhagavan. And for Atmadeva, it came in the form of his own son. So he was a very normal person who had a very simple desire, and then he was totally shaken by what that child could do to him, and that kind of awakened him to a higher truth. He started questioning everything, and he wanted to know, reach that kind of higher state where he can be free of all this. So he left. Now Dundukari is the lower extreme, where he has every bad habit that you can think of. So once his father left, he needed money. As long as his father was around, he was pestering him for money. He was torturing him for money. Now that he was not there, he started torturing his mother. Right? So he wanted money from his mother. What could the mother do? See, she already did not want a child. But after she got Dundukari, she was very attached to him. And, she really brought him up as her own child. So when he started hurting her so badly, she didn't know what to do. And what she did, very pathetic, she fell into a well and she killed herself. She could not bear the physical agony and the mental agony. because of what her son was doing to her, it was too much to bear, so she quit her life. Now Dundukari had no remorse. He did not feel bad at all. Now that he knew he had no money left, but he had a house, Gokarna was there. But when Gokarna saw that his father left, his mother also died, he didn't want to live there anymore. So Gokarna left that village and he went on a pilgrimage. He went for a Kshetra Yatra. And here Dundukari was very happy because no one was around to control him, and he knew there was no money left, but he knew what to do to get money, so he started stealing from everywhere. He started sustaining all his bad habits by stealing. Right? He used to gamble, he used to drink, he had all kind of illicit relationships. So what he did, he brought around 5 women to his house, and he was living with them. And these women, they were with him only for the money that he was bringing. So one day, they were pestering him for more jewels, more ornaments, more money and all. So this Dundukari, just to keep them happy, he went on a rampage and he started stealing and, literally he became a big burglar and he was robbing every place. So after robbing every place, he came back and he gave them a fortune. So much of gold and so much of money and all that. When these women saw that, they were kind of happy, but then they were also worried. They thought, oh my God, this fellow, he's stealing everywhere. So that is what he's doing to sustain us. The more we ask, the more he seems to steal. Good that we need all this money, but then what will happen if this fellow gets caught someday? See, they had that sense. They thought, if this fellow gets caught, because he's stealing like this, so one day he will certainly be caught by the king. And once he is caught by the king, they will come in search of his house to arrest him. They will find the 5 of us here and they will see that we have all the stolen goods with us. So we might also be in trouble. Even if we are not in trouble, we may lose all this wealth that he has given us. So you know what they planned? They were so cunning. They were so vile. They got all that they wanted from him and they thought, let us all kill him. So that he is not, till date he has robbed so much, but he has not been caught. Nobody caught him. So if he lives tomorrow, there is a chance that he may get caught someday. So let us put an end to that. Let us kill him first and we'll take away all these jewels and money. We'll share it between us and we'll run away from this village. We'll go somewhere, we'll live a happy life. And we'll wait for some time after killing him. If someone asks, we'll say that he has gone out of station for some days. And then after waiting for a few weeks, we'll leave this place. They decided so. And all the 5 women, one night when he was sleeping, they suffocated him. And he didn't die easily. He was too strong for them. All the 5 of them tied his hands and they burnt hot charcoal. And they put that hot charcoal, burning charcoal into his mouth. They stuffed it down his throat to burn him to death like that. It was very, 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 very torturous form of death that he experienced. And after killing him, they buried him right behind in the backyard. They waited for a few weeks. When people asked, they said he has gone out somewhere. And after a few months, each of them took all the money and they left the place. Now this Dundukari, who had led his entire life like this, in bad company, in taking bad decisions, in making vile actions, he was killed brutally and buried like that. And nobody knew what happened to him. These people left. This Gokarna, the most pious one, the great Mahatma, he is the other extreme. Like we said, Atmadeva is the normal person. Our Dundukari is the vilest example for the vilest person. And Gokarna was the example for the most great person. He was a Mahatma. From his childhood, he was very satvikam and he was very dharmic. He was a jnani. So, when he was going around the holy places and visiting holy rivers, he went to Gaya Kshetram. And Gaya Kshetram is very famous for all the final rites. It is said that if someone passes away in the family, if we do the final rites in Gaya for them, then that soul will attain peace. So Gokarna knew that his family has suffered in many ways. So he performed, he had heard from others through people. The word passed around, and finally he had heard that nobody is living in that house. Everybody has passed away, including his mother, his brother, everybody. So Gokarna, he did the final rites for all these souls, for the peace of those souls in Gaya Kshetra. And after all that, after a few weeks and months, he returned to his village. And he came back to his house. He thought, let me spend one night here. And while he was sitting on the veranda of his house, in the middle of the night, suddenly he saw some very horrible form, horrific form appear in front of him. He did not know what it was. And that form was not stable. It kept changing. It became a bull, it became a goat, it became some kind of a ghostly creature. It started showing different forms. Immediately he understood this is some soul that is suffering very badly. So he took up some water, he uttered some mantras, and he sprinkled that water on that form, which could not talk but was trying to talk. And immediately it took a form and it started speaking. And it said, my brother Gokarna, do you recognize me? Gokarna said, who are you? He said, I am your brother Dundukari. He said, how is it possible? How are you in this ghostly form, in this preta form? How is it possible? Because I did Shraddha for you, the final rites for you, in Gaya. It is said that whoever is, for whomsoever we do that final rite in Gaya, that soul will be saved. How can you be lurking around like this even now? Dundukari says, even if you do 100 Shraddhas for me, there in Gaya itself, even then, he says, it is not possible to actually free me because I have done so many sins in my life. Right? So whatever you do, it is not possible. Gaya Shraddha Shatenapi Muktirmena Bhavishyati Upayam Aparam Kinchit Vicharaya Sampratam Tvam Vicharaya Sampratam Upayam Aparam Kanchit Tvam Vicharaya Sampratam. He says Gaya Shraddham Shatenapi, even if you do hundreds of Shraddhas in Gaya, you cannot, my redemption is impossible. So please think of something. I am suffering so much in this form. Right? Some people think when they are very depressed, or if something does not go the way that they think it should, they think they are so depressed that they think they should give up this body. They think they can take away their life. Right? But our scriptures say, you think that you are solving a problem by killing yourself, by you're thinking that you're escaping from a problem by killing yourself. But the fact is, if you kill yourself like that before it's time for you to actually leave the body, you are actually getting into a greater trouble. It's a very scary state to be in. It is neither here nor there. It is not a happy place. So it is even the very thought of killing oneself, suicide is deemed to be very sinful in our scriptures. They call it sinful. We have to understand what a sin is and what we keep talking about punyam, papam, etc. Right? There are many definitions technically in scriptures for all this. But let me give you something that's very simple and relatable for us to understand it very easily. Right? If you have to understand sin or papam or merit or punya in very simple terms, remember this. Anything, any action or any word that you speak or thought that you think, anything that ultimately leads to harming you, it brings about some kind of harm to you, if not now but sometime in future, if not now sometime in long term, right? Such acts, such words, such thoughts are called papa. Anything that can hurt us in the future or immediately, any action, any word, any thought that can hurt us in future is called papam. And any act, any word, any thought that actually gives us joy and brings us goodness in the immediate time, in the immediate future or later future, in the long term, is called punya. As simple as that. So when we say don't do this at the papam, what do we mean? If you do that, finally it will result in something that will hurt you, which is not good for you. So don't do it. When we say do this, it's punya, it means ultimately it will lead to some goodness in your life. In the future, it is good for you. Right? That is what is punyam and papam, defined very simply. So, he says, I have done so many papas, I have sinned so much in my life that any amount of shraddha will not cleanse me enough. I have hurt myself so much already. So, you please think of some other idea, come up with some other idea to protect me, to free me from this most scary state. Right? So it says that this the thought of suicide itself is very sinful because it is very harmful for us. In the later period, we don't see it, but that is the truth. That's why our scriptures warn us by telling this is papam. No, don't do it. So when Dundukari pleaded with his brother like that, Gokarna was very shocked. He thought that the only way he actually scripturally know to release a soul from such suffering is doing a Gaya Shraddham. If that does not work, I really have to figure out what will work. Please give me time, I find it. And the next day morning, our Gokarna, he started doing Gayatri Japa. He prayed to Surya Bhagavan, and with the power of his penance, he stopped the sun god for a moment. And sun god is the one who knows all the dharmas. So Gokarna puts this question to the sun god. He says, my brother is suffering like this. What do I do? So when he asked like that, immediately our sun god, he said, don't worry, the most simple way to release your brother from this is, he said, Srimad Bhagavatam Muktihi Saptaham Vachanam Kuru Iti Surya Vachas Sarvaihi Dharma Rupam Tu Vishrutam. Srimad Bhagavatam Muktihi Saptaham Vachanam Kuru. It said, all you have to do is, you do the Parayana of Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. Do a Saptaha of Srimad Bhagavatam and he will be released not just from the suffering, from the scary state, but he will be released from this cycle of birth and death, and he will become immortal. He will attain liberation. Bhagavatam can do that. And because Surya Bhagavan himself says this to Gokarna immediately organizes for a Bhagavata Saptaha. Now this Dundukari is not in a human form, so he can't come and sit and attend it, is it not? So he has to do something for that. So what he does, he takes up a bamboo stick which has 7 nodes in it. A bamboo stick has these joint kind of things. They are called nodes. So there are 7 nodes in this bamboo stick. He made Dundukari, we do Avahana. See, whenever we do a puja or whenever we sit for worship, we do Avahana of that Bhagavan in that Murti. Is it not? Similarly, Dundukari did Avahana of this, this Preta Rupa Dundukari. Gokarna did the Avahana of this Preta Rupa Dundukari into this bamboo stick. And he started doing Bhagavata Pravachana, Bhagavata Katha. He started reading, doing Bhagavata Parayana. When he did that, he saw a very a beautiful thing. Every day after he finishes the Parayana, there are 7 days. After the first day Parayana, he saw Dinante Rakshita Gatha Tada Chitram Babhuvaha Vamshaika Granthi Bedho Bhut Sashabdam Pashyatam Satam. At the end of that day, once the Parayana was over, he saw that one node of the bamboo stick burst. On second day, the second Granthi, it burst. On third day, the third Granthi burst. And similarly for all the 7 days he read. On the 7th day, Evam Sapta Dinaishchaiva Sapta Granthi Vibhedanam Kritva Dvadasha Skanda Shravanat Pretatam Jahau Divya Rupa Dharo Jata Tulasiddhama Manditaha Pitavasa Ghanashyamo Mukuti Kundalanvitaha. After 7 days, on the 7th day, the 7th node also burst, and from that bamboo stick arose Divya Rupa Dharo. There was a Divya Purusha standing. He had a Tulasi Mala. He was wearing a yellow robe. He was like, he was cloud-like in color. he was Ganashyama, he had a beautiful crown, he was wearing all the kundalas and all. Immediately Gokarna got up and he prostrated unto the, he did a namaskara to this Divya Purusha. He said, who are you? And the Divya Purusha said, oh my dear brother, don't you recognize me? I am this Dundukari, the one who was in this Preta form. It is me. Because of you, Tvayaham mochito bandhu. Because of you, I have been totally freed from this bandha, and I have been freed from this most the suffering that I was in because of the Preta form, Preta Kashmalat. And immediately he celebrates Bhagavatam. He says, Kampante sarva papani saptaha shravane sthite asmakam pralayam sadhyaha kathacheyam karishyati. He says, the moment we start doing Bhagavata Parayana somewhere, all the papas, all the sins, they start trembling because they know that they are going to be destroyed. And we will not be able to near this person who has Bhagavatam in their hand. And everybody witnessed this miracle, and Dundukari attained Vaikuntha. While everyone was seeing, they saw the Vimanam, a beautiful aerial car come from Vaikuntha, and all the Vishnu Parshadas, they invited this Dundukari, who was now in a beautiful Divya form, and they all took him to Vaikuntha. When Gokarna saw that they had come to invite Dundukari, take Dundukari along to Vaikuntha, Gokarna asks them, he says, how is it that only he is going to Vaikuntha? So many of us, there were so many people who heard the Saptaham here. So why is it that only he is going? Immediately, the Haridasas, they said, Shravanam tu kritam sarvaihi, na tatha mananam kritam. Everyone listened to Bhagavatam, but nobody listened to Bhagavatam like Dundukari. Because he was suffering so much, he paid complete attention to Bhagavatam. When you read or listen to Bhagavatam like that, with complete attention, only then you can see Krishna. If you are doing it only like a pastime, then Bhagavan also will wait to give darshan. So here he says that. And then the Haridasas also say, Gokarna, you do another Saptaha, and in that, see to it that everyone attends it properly, Bhagavan will become happy and everyone can get Vaikuntha. So Gokarna, after he released Dundukari and Dundukari attained Vaikuntha, Gokarna conducted another Bhagavata Saptaha, and for that Bhagavata Saptaha all the Bhagavatas came, and not just that, Bhagavan himself came to take Gokarna and all the listeners to Vaikuntha, and he also attained Vaikuntha like that. So it shows how Bhagavatam was the gati for someone like Atmadeva. Bhagavatam is the gati for someone like Dundukari. It is the gati for someone like Gokarna, who was also a jnani. Right? It is for the vilest of the vilest. It is for the most dharmic and the more simple person. It is also for the great jnanis. Bhagavatam is the gati for everyone. That's what this story shows. This Charitra of Atmadeva. It's a very punya charitra. Just listening to it and reading to it itself daily can give us Krishna Darshana. That is the beauty of this charitra. And in Bhagavata Mahatmya, finally it says, Krishna Priyam Sakala Kalmasha Nashanam Cha Muktiaika Hetu Miha Bhakti Vilasakari. Krishna Priyam. Whoever studies or reads or listens to Srimad Bhagavatam, he becomes Krishna Priyam, which means he becomes the most favorite of Lord Krishna, it seems. Bhagavan loves those of them who read Srimad Bhagavatam. But our Guru Maharaj, Sri Murugadhara Swamiji, would give a very beautiful interpretation for this shloka. He would say, it is not just that Bhagavan will be happy if you read Bhagavatam or listen to Bhagavatam, but the truth of the matter is that only when Bhagavan is happy with somebody, he gives Bhagavatam to them. So today if we have Bhagavatam in our hands, it's only because we think we are reading Bhagavatam so Krishna will be happy. Swamiji says, no, you are reading Bhagavatam only because Krishna is happy with you. That is how it starts. When Bhagavan looks at us and he is suddenly very happy with us, then he thinks, let me give this child Bhagavatam. Let him also read a few shlokas from that. So that is how we have got Bhagavatam today. We are all the very beloved of Krishna. Krishna loves us so much that he is giving us so much of Bhagavatam. We are learning to read Bhagavatam. we are listening to the Katha from Bhagavatam. So, you know how blessed we are all, how fortunate we are all to do this Parayanam, to be listening like this, is it not? It shows that Bhagavan loves us a lot. So, with that, this is not the entire Bhagavata Mahatmya. There is so much to Bhagavata Mahatmya, but we are just giving a gist of all this, of all these topics, and just the story part, is what we are focusing here. So, we'll conclude Bhagavata Mahatmyam from with this class, with this session today, and from the next session when we meet, we'll jump into Bhagavatam. We'll learn the overall how Bhagavatam is. We'll get the overview of it, and then we'll go into each of the charitras, interesting charitras. We'll listen to the stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. Wherever relevant, we'll also take up stories from Bhakta Vijayam and all, so that we can enjoy. Because Katha Shravanam itself is enough. That itself will get us all the blessings. So with that, we'll conclude today's session. And for the next session, what I would like all of you to do is, please send me a kind of summary of this Bhagavata Mahatmya. What you found most interesting, in the story of Atma Deva. And also, if you have any doubts, please write to me. And I know we have not been interacting for the past few sessions. So, because I was waiting to complete this session. So, after this Bhagavata Mahatmya, I thought we'll do something like that. So, if you have any questions, please write to me. If you have any other doubts, it doesn't have to be even about Bhagavatam or Bhagavata Mahatmya. Some spiritual question that you have, please write to me. If I have, if I can help you, or if I know about it, I'll write back to you. If I don't know, I'll find the answer for it and I will write back to you. So, please write to me about the summary of Bhagavata Mahatmya, what you found very interesting in Atma Deva Charitra, this Dundukari and Gokarna, what you learned from it and what was very interesting there, and also about any other doubt that you have, right? So we'll conclude the session with this today, and we'll meet in the next session again. Kayena vacha manasendriyaiva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai Srimannarayanayeti samarpayami. Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Gopika Jeevana Smaranam Govinda Govinda Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Radhe Radhe.